Right, so last week's class, I wasn't able to meet, but I asked you all to attend the Thursday class as a makeup class instead, where we did a letter. Right, so even if you couldn't meet on the Thursday, hopefully you've reviewed the video since then, right? Today's class, I wanted to spend time going over this tense, the present perfect tense with you. Right, and in English, that is the version of that is has and have. Right, so I have eaten, you have written, he or she or it has arrived, and so on, right? All the tenses that are formed with this has and have. Okay. And then after that, object pronouns. We will get through, I think, direct object pronouns today. I feel like that might take up the whole of class, but if we still have time left, we will work on another letter, right? All right, so let's get to this perfect tense. Some of you have done this before, right? If you've done it before, I'd like to know, you can send me a message in the chat. All right, so the present perfect tense, and it's important to say present because there's the past perfect tense, and then there's the pluperfect tense, which is a further in the past tense. So we are dealing with the present tense today, right? So not too complicated. Has or have, like we said, we form it by taking the present tense of aber. Now, aber means to have, right? Not to be confused with tener, which also means to have, but like to have something. Right? This aber is used as an auxiliary verb to have. And only as an auxiliary verb to have. Right? Meaning a helping verb. So in order to construct the tense, you have to have plus something. It's a helping verb, right? All right. So we start off with conjugating. A, as, a, hemos, and. So yo, a means I have. To, as, and again, you could just say as, right? You have. Ele, ella, usted, a, he, she, it, has, or you formal, have. Right? All right. Hemos, nosotros. Right? So we have. And ellos, ellas, ustedes, and they have, or again, you, formal, and plural, have, right? All right, so the first part of the tense, we take aber, and then what we add to it is the past participle. So if we come over here, for AR verbs, right, like hablar, for example, we remove the AR, so we get the stem. The AR is the ending. We have the stem, and we add ADO. So that gives us hablado. Right? And this means spoken / talked. So you might want to say, I have talked with him or her, right? You have talked, they have talked, we have talked. All right. ER and IR verbs, similar process. For ER verbs, we remove the ER. So comer. Take off the ER and we add IDO. So we get comido. So I might want to say, he comido, I have eaten. 2, has comido, you have eaten, right? Vivir, yes, let's go with vivir. Right, this is an IR verb, take off the ending. We add IDO, and we get vivido. Right, so he vivido, I have lived. 2 vivido, I'm sorry, 2 has vivido, you have lived. Ele usted ha vivido. He, she, it, you formal. Has or have lived, right? All right, so we're taking on the note. And when we're done, I'm going to clear away this writing and we're going to conjugate write out hablar in the present perfect tense, write out comer in the present perfect tense, write out vivir in the present perfect tense, right? So we're taking down the note first. Now, no one has messaged me to say that they've done this tense before. Is that because nobody has done it before? Right, so the next thing on our agenda is conjugating some verbs in the present perfect tense, right? So if we take hablar to begin with, right? And I write a, so for the yo form, hablado, this is I have talked, right? So hablar to talk, or I have spoken if you translate it as hablar to speak, right? Has hablado is you have spoken, right? He, she, or it, or you formal has spoken or stayed, right? Ha hablado. He slash she slash it slash usted, right? Has or have spoken. So these are all the singular forms, right? I am one person, you are one person, he, she, it, usted, one person. Now we go to the plural form. So nosotros hemos hablado, right? We have spoken. Now I have space down here, so I'm gonna write it down here, but obviously you write it going down. Right, so nosotros hemos hablado. Oh, right? We have spoken. We have talked. I see I changed the transition midway through. Apologies. You could pick one and stick with it. All right, and then ellos, ellas, ustedes. And also I put in the subject midway through. All right, ellos, ellas, ustedes, han hablado, right? De slash ustedes have spoken, right? Have talked. All right, if there are any questions, let me know. Okay, so 1 minute and then we're gonna do comer. Comer to eat. So if I want to say I have eaten, say he comido, right? You have eaten. Sorry, I'm putting Spanish first. Let me just, right. Has comido. You have eaten, right? Ha comido. He, she, it, usted. Has, or have eaten, right? Because it's you have eaten. So, but he or she or it has eaten. We have eaten, hemos comido. Right, this will be a very useful phrase coming up for Christmas, where you go to people's houses and they want you to eat, but you need to say, hemos comido. We've eaten. Right. So what tense is the present perfect tense? Is it a present tense or is it a past tense? What is it? Has the thing happened already? And then han comido. De or ustedes have eaten. Is it a present tense or a past tense? I know it has present in the name, but when you tell somebody I have eaten, is it happening now? Or has it already happened and maybe it's finished? For sure, the aber part is in the present tense, right? But the past participle is the past tense because it's a past participle. So the thing has already happened. So if, you know, you're a person who's not fond of using preterite and imperfect tense, you can possibly use the present perfect tense to get out of it sometimes, right? As a past tense for something that has already happened. All right, should we do vivir one time? So perhaps we've lived somewhere. We want to talk about where we have lived. So we may say, he vivido. I have lived, right? Has vivido. You have lived. Right? He has ha vivido. He slash she slash it slash usted has or have lived, right? Nosotros hemos vivido, right? We have lived. And then finally, I don't know why I keep putting in nosotros, but it's nosotros that I keep putting in, and I have no subjects for the others. All right, ellos, ellas, ustedes, sorry, and vivido, right? They have lived, right? Slash ustedes have lived, right? So what we've looked at so far is a tense called the present perfect tense. And in English, what that looks like is the tense with has and have, right? No, the technical name in the grammar book is present perfect tense, right? But a lot of times it's just referred to as the perfect tense, right? All right, so to make this perfect tense, well, first of all, what does it sound like in English? It sounds like has and have. So whenever we say I have done something, so I have written, some of you had exams already, right? So I have written history and social studies already, right? So you want to explain something you've done already. This piece here is the present perfect tense, right? If you want to say, he has left, right? This piece here is the present perfect tense, right? So this is the tense we're looking at translating. How to say he has done something, she has done something, I have done something, you have done something, they have done something, we have done something, etc. Right? We're looking at how to translate this has and this have to form that tense, right? So how we translate it with two parts. The first part is we have to translate the has and the have, which is a verb, right? To have is a verb. These come from to have. So we have to translate it with the verb in Spanish, which means to have, and that verb is haber. So for the yo form, we would write a, if it's something I have done. For the tu form, we would write as, if it's something you have done. For the el, usted form, we would write a, ha. Remember the h is silent, right? So I'm not pronouncing it. I'm saying a, as, a, hemos, an. Right? If it's something we have done, nosotros, we say hemos. If it's something they have done, ellos, ellas, ustedes, we say an. But that is only piece of the translation, piece of the verb, because the verb has two parts. Even in English, it has two parts. The first part is this part with I have or he has. The second part is this word left or this word written or any other it could be spoken, it could be talked, it could be stood, it could be ran. It's really any past tense. Sorry, any past participle, right? So to convey the present tense, the present perfect tense rather, we have to conjugate to have, which is haber, right? It's not tener. There's another verb that you know really well in Spanish for to have, and that is tener. That means to have something like in your possession, right? This is a verb especially used for conjugating other tenses haber, right? So you have to conjugate haber, and then we have to also find the past participle of the verb, whatever the action is that we're trying to convey. We get the past participle. And how do we get that? We take the infinitive, which is the ending in AR, ER, IR. We take off the AR, and for AR verbs, we add ADO, so we might get hablado, like the first example. For ER verbs, we take off the ER and we add IDO, so we got comido over here. For vivir, we take off the IR and we add same IDO, so we got vivido, right? And then we put the two parts together. So the hablado, comido, vivido stays the same through all the different persons, whether it's yo or tú or él, ella, usted, nosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes. What changes is this haber, the has or the have. In English it's has or have, but in Spanish, the auxiliary verb haber. Right? Is that a little bit clearer if anybody was confused about how we form this or what we're doing? All right, everybody is done writing down the examples of comer and vivir. Anybody is still writing those down? Okay, so it looks like no. So that means we could go to an exercise. Right? All right, so I'm going to clear this away. We're going to go to the exercise, right? Okay, so this is a reminder of what we had on the screen before in case we need to see it, right? That to form the perfect tense, right? Which is in all these English examples. I have eaten, you have spoken, he has walked. So once we see have and the past participle, or so has / have and the past participle, we know that is the present perfect tense, right? Which could be just called the perfect tense sometimes. A lot of times it's just called the perfect tense, but there are other tenses for it. We are doing the one that's present. The have is conjugated in the present tense. All right, not that the tense itself is present, as we discussed before. The tense itself, although it is called present tense, right? Present perfect tense, the action has happened already. So it's technically the past, right? All right, we have has walked, has read, have listened, has gone, have arrived, have left, have come, right? So for all of these, we will need to conjugate haber, and then we will have to add the past participle. Right? Everybody okay so far? All right, so I'm going to put the verb for that you'll need to get the past participle. Well, obviously we know comer, right? And we know hablar, caminar, leer, to read. Listen, we will use escuchar. Gone, ir, arrived, llegar. Left, salir. Come, venir, right? Now, there are a number of irregular past participles. That is not our job to revise today, right? I don't think I gave you any irregular ones. Right, so these all follow the rule, right? All right, so I'm going to do back the first two with you because you have those in the example anyway, and then you are going to try the rest. So I have eaten, all right, so I can recognize it's the present perfect tense I need because it's I have plus a past participle. So I have is a, right? H-E. And comer, I take off the ER and I add I-D-O, right? So a comido. So this is number one and this is number one. Let me see if I can color coordinate a little bit. You have spoken, so that's the two form. Let's take that as a two form. This you will be ustedes, right? Right. So the two form of the verb is as, right? Hablar, we take off the AR and we add ADO, right? So as hablado, right? Now it's very important to also remember these tenses for listening comprehensions, right? Because you don't hear the H. H is silent. So sometimes when you're listening, you have to know that's the tense in order to make sense of what is being said, right? All right, so try the others, please. I'm going to give you some time to try the others. You can put them in the chat. And if you are confused, let me know, please. All right, so he has walked. So this is number 3 now, right? So he has is a, H-A, right? And how do we get the past participle? Caminar, we take off the ending and we add ADO, right? So a caminado. Is he here? Do we need to pick him up? No, he has walked. Ha caminado. What's the next one? She has read. Okay, so slight irregularity with this, but the principle is the same, and then I'll show you what there's just an accent on the I. All right, so she has a again, right? Leer. Cross off the ER, we add IDO, right? It's just that leído has an accent on the I, right? So a leído, slight irregularity. Okay, let's do 5 one time. To listen is escuchar. You have listened. This is the usted form of you. So usted, as a, so a, escuchar over here. So we can do like a working column for maths. We take off the AR and we add again ADO, right? So a escuchado. Okay, so try 6 to 9. And then we will correct them. All right, so number 6. Yes, Khadija, that is correct. All right, so number 6. So it has a as a, right? Here, so take it over here. Take off the ending, which is IR, and we add IDO. So ido. Ido is the past tense of ear. All right, number 7. We're dealing with llegar. So we have arrived. What is the we form of haber? It is hemos, right? So hemos. What are we doing with the llegar? Taking off the AR, adding ADO. Hemos llegado. Right. Number 8. They have left. They have an past tense of salir. Cross off the IR. Salido. Salido. And number 9. All right, so if anyone is still confused, please say. So ustedes now, ustedes, and I don't know why I wrote in ustedes, but I did. So venir, take off the IR, add IDO, venido, and venido, right? So in English first, let's just remind ourselves what are pronouns. Pronouns take the place of nouns. So a noun is like dentist, book, mother, Mary, Michael, right? And then if you don't want to say the name, but you want to refer to the person, him, her, it, me, you, right? All right, so I'll write over what I need you to have on the left-hand side here, right? But again, if you took it on last week, you don't need to again, right? All right, so object pronouns are pronouns that come after the verb. Right? There are two sets. There's direct and there's indirect. All right, so what are the direct ones? For me, well, that is me. For you, that is te. For him, or it, or you, formal, usted, right? As always, right? That is lo. For her, or it, if it is feminine, or usted, feminine, right? That is la. For us, that is nos. So, you can't say give, well, I mean, if you're in the Caribbean, you could say it, give we the book, but really, if we're using standard English, we would say give us the book. So that us translates as nos, right? We don't deal with vosotros, we ignore os. For them and you, sorry, just to make this clear, well, I'll come back and write by lo, that is masculine, and by her, la, that is feminine, right? Obviously. Right, so los, so this is masculine here, los, right? And for them, you, feminine, that is plural, right? That is las. Good. So these are the direct object pronouns. Now, if I give you some sentences with examples in English, it would be like, I'm only giving you in English right now. The next slide has in Spanish examples, right? So I bought it. That it is an object pronoun. You gave me money, right? The me is an object pronoun. Money is also an object. Well, actually, let me take off this example because this is actually indirect object because it's gave to me. So let's change the saved. You saved me money. You're my hero, right? We gave them cake. My brother gave me the flu. Right? Me again. Right? All of these are object pronouns in English. You don't need to take on these examples. I'm just showing them. Now, on the other side, I'm going to go do indirect. What are the indirect object pronouns? That is the second piece of the graphic here. I erased the S by accident, right? All right, so indirect, we're gonna draw a line. Now, indirect is when the pronoun answers the question to what or to whom, or for what or for whom, right? And that is explained on another slide, so I won't write that down here, right? But I will say to or for me is still me, right? To or for you is te, right? Lo, wait, sorry. To or for him, to or for you who stayed, to or for her, right? All of them are the same now. So to for him, her, it, who stayed, all of that is lo, right? To or for us, nos, to/for, again, oh, them, or ustedes, right? Is los. So the stuff in black is what you need, and it's just a bigger version of what is on the graphic, right? And as well as if you did it last week, you don't need to do it again, right? Just use this as a time to revise and memorize it one time if you didn't already. Okay, the next thing is an exercise where we're going to practice putting in direct object pronouns, right? All right. So I'm going to come out of slideshow mode so we can type in answers as we do that, right? A couple of places we will have to add accents. Oops, I just came out of that. What am I doing? And question marks, right? Right, okay, so los chicos han visto. I want you to put in the object pronoun for me, right? And what does it mean? It means the boys have seen me, right? So visto is one of the irregular past participles I mentioned, right? This next one, we're putting in you, singular, the to form, right? And this one means the teacher has seen you, right? All right. So what would go in the blank? ¿Quién tengo el dinero? Who has the money? I do not have it. I do not have it. All right, let's go backwards a little bit. Let's look and see where are the object pronouns, right? Everybody can see the font, okay? It's not too small, right? Okay, so los chicos, the boys have seen me. So this me is the object pronoun we're trying to translate, to fill into the blank, right? The teacher has seen you. This you is the object pronoun we're trying to translate, to fill into the blank. Who has the money? Nothing to translate there, but the money is the object, right? And I do not have it. So the it replaces money, and we need to know that so we know the gender, right? This is the wrong color, boo. Right? What do we put in the blank there? All right, so what do we think? What is the object pronoun for me? The direct object pronoun for me? Me, right? All right, so we're dealing with the object pronouns again. We're not translating in perfect tense again, right? So we are looking at the words that we just wrote down on the list, from the list, right? Or we wrote down last week: me, te, lo, la, los, las, right? We're choosing from this list. All right. El profesor, the teacher, has seen you. So what is the object pronoun for you? Te, right? So el profesor te ha visto. All right. ¿Quién tengo el dinero? Who has the money? And we need a little upside down question mark here. All right. Who has the money? So the money is el dinero. So it's masculine. So we need the masculine. I do not have it. Right? So what is the word for it? When the noun is replacing as masculine, lo. All right. So these are examples, and it's also a little practice for us as well. So start by taking down the first three, and then we're going to continue with the others. I'm going to ask you to fill in the answers for the next three, and we're going to. Right. So we're on number 4 now. ¿Quién ha comprado la casa? Who has bought the house? And we want to say Juan has bought it. So the it is the house. The house is feminine. Right? So we need la. La is the word for it. Okay? That for when it is feminine. Okay. Have you met Pepe? ¿Has encontrado a Pepe? Sí, yes. I have met him. All right, sorry about that lack of sound there. All right, so next one. ¿Has encontrado a Lola? Have you met Lola? Sí. She. So we need a feminine object pronoun, la, right? La, sí, la he encontrado, right? Now, what do you notice about the position of where the object pronoun is going? It's going in front of the verb. It's not going after like it does in English, right? All right, so let's discuss what 7 means. All right, so we're practicing with usted for this one. So have they seen you? Have they seen you? And the you in this case is going to be masculine, right? And then number 8, have they seen you? The you in this case is going to be feminine, right? So sí, señor, something, and visto. They have seen you, right? I'm sorry, this is me. Have they seen me? This is me again. My bad. Right. And then yesterday they have seen you. Right? But the me is going to be masculine, right? And the same way down here. Have they seen me? Yes, ma'am, they have seen you, right? All right, so let's put in for these. Me han visto, right? Have they seen me? Upside down question mark before the me. Sí, señor. Yes, sir. Lo han visto. They have seen you, right? Number 8. Me han visto. Have they seen me? Right? Yes, ma'am. They have seen you. La, right? All right, now what is missing from here? We need an upside down question mark, right? C, accent on the I, and senor, tele, senora, tele, right? All right. They have forgotten us. All right. How do we translate us? That is the missing pronoun. Right. So for us, we use nos. Right. All right. So nos and olvidado. All right, I'm going to give us a couple minutes to catch up with the note here. Then I need to clear away the writing and make things a little smaller so everything could fit, right? So just a couple of minutes. Okay, so the last 5 here. ¿Dónde están los periódicos? So where are the newspapers? All right. She has put them on the table. Right? So what is the them? It could be he has put them too on the table. I don't know. But the them for newspapers, masculine and plural, will be the masculine and plural object pronoun. So that will be los, right? Los ha puesto en la mesa. Okay, number 11. ¿Dónde están las naranjas? Do I need to put the English here? So you'll notice these sentences are also using present perfect tense, right? Another reason why we revised that tense today. Okay. ¿Dónde están las naranjas? Where are the oranges? Now, naranjas is feminine and plural. So he or she has put them on the table. So las ha puesto en la mesa. Right? So he / she, just like above, has put them on the table. Right. Has visto a los chicos. Now remember that my question marks are missing, but you need to put them in, all right? So upside down question mark here. And upside down question mark here. Here and here as well. All right? All right. Has visto a los chicos. Have you seen the boys? Right? Yes, I have seen them. Sí, los he visto. Right? All right. Have you seen the girls? Sí, las he visto. Yes, I have seen them. So I agree with chicas, las, right? Have you seen us? Nos han visto, right? Yes, sis, we have seen you. So again, los for ustedes this time, right? Masculine. And again, have you seen us? Nos han visto. Sí, señoras, las han visto. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put in the English here. And this will be the last thing we do today, right? So have you seen the boys? You put in your accents on the C as well, right? So yes, I have seen them, right? Okay, sorry about that. Shh. All right. ¿Has visto a las chicas? Have you seen the girls? Sorry, I have a little infiltrator here. Have seen girls? Yes, I have seen them, right? Right? Have they seen us? Yes, sis, they have seen you. Yes, gentlemen. Right? Again, have they seen us? Right? Yes, ladies. Yes, madam. Plural. Yes, madam. They have seen you. Right. So to recap, today we spent our day looking at our class, looking at perfect present perfect tense. We talked about how to form it and when to use it, right? And we did some practice actually using it. And the second thing we did was we went over object pronouns. What are the direct object pronouns? What are the indirect object pronouns? And this exercise was an exercise to practice using the direct object pronouns, right? All right, guys. Once you are done taking on the corrections or checking over your answers, you're free to go, right? Remember, you can always message if you have questions about something specific before your exam.